Hello. So I'm going to be doing a really quick and short video on resoling these barefoot gym green stockmans here. Um, and it's a very quick, simple, and honestly very cheap process that can easily be done at home with very, very minimal tools. Um, so that's what I'll be doing today. And so this is the finished product here. There is a Vibram clutter lift outsole with 10 millimeters of high density EVA foam, which makes it much more comfortable. And what I was going for was to recreate my Ultras basically in this boot. And the reason why is these are the shoes that this is my second pair of Ultras, but these are the shoes that first introduced me to more zero drop, wide toe box footwear. And I loved them. I mean, you can see I wear them a ton. I do a bunch of stuff in them. I work in them, work out in them, run, hike in them, whatever. Um, and I really loved them. But the one thing that I found, for my own personal taste, that I felt like was missing was the cushion that these Ultras have to offer. So I wanted to see if I could recreate that with these. So I have my acetone and Q-tips, and I'm going to start the process of removing the outsole. So I'm just going to have some acetone on here. I'm just working it back along that crease where the outsole meets the midsole. I'm going to take my pliers and just start working that up and see, just to see if that has done anything. So you can see there it's starting to peel up. So I'm going to squirt a little more acetone in there. That should come right up.
Done, but it was a ton of work, and it required a lot of sanding because there was still a lot of the outsole left on there. So I'm going to, work side to side on here. And I'm being careful to not get the acetone on the leather because I don't know what it would do to the leather, but I can't imagine it would be anything good. This stuff's pretty sticky. I might open the back door here. Yeah, I'm going to. My face is right in it. And honestly, when I tried this for the first time, the acetone for sole removal, it blew my mind more than it probably should have, just because of the amount of work that it took me before to remove these with just the box cutter. It is, our pets are beefing. But I spent a lot of time on YouTube, and boots have been something I've been interested in for a while. And I watch a fair amount of videos on YouTube of people reselling boots, making boots, doing what they do. And so I thought it was entertaining, but it's also very educational.
Everything that I'm doing here was not taught to me. It's just things that I have seen done on YouTube, and I just followed them step by step. And that's really all it is.
But this is easily something that almost anyone can do. Very cost effective, very easy, and I personally believe that repairable footwear should be more common and more popular than what it is. People are usually shocked that I repair my own boots, and it's honestly something that it seems like people forget that it's possible that you can repair your shoes. And I think that it's something that we've lost to time. There we go.
Next step for this is going to be to cut my high density EVA foam um, cut it out, glue it on here, and then trim it the size so it fits around here. So next step, like I said, is to glue on our foam. I've got that cut and roughly traced out, uh, glued on here using some contact cement. I have this barge contact cement, and I'm not going to sand this down. Um, just there's still some glue residue, and that works pretty well for gripping onto whatever material. Um, so there's no need to sand it down, and the EVA foam is very grippy as well with this.
Now I'm not going to put a ton of glue on there, just enough to have a nice even coat throughout the entirety of both surfaces here. And paying special attention to the edges. I'm also doing this outside because this stuff is extremely stinky and it's a lot of fumes. And I've done it inside before, and the smell takes several hours for it to go away. But this is only the third time that I have done this. So just another thing to go show you how learnable of a skill this is. The other projects I've done have been I have some African Rangers that were on the Ringo resole from Jim Green, and they had the fiberboard midsole, which had completely deteriorated, and I ended up replacing it with a leather midsole, and I stitched that all by hand, and they turned out pretty decent. The other one was a pair of walnut, just make sure I got the right side, walnut Newsons from Jim Green that I had the frog grip sole, and I ended up swapping them out to a Vibram Christie, which is a very similar project or process as this is. Same construction materials and everything. And I just had, my dad actually has a pair of cowboy boots that are about 20 years old. I was actually with him when they bought them, so it's kind of cool seeing those still in excellent condition and being the one 20 years later to do the first repair on them. And those are an even simpler process because I'm only doing the heels, the piece of rubber that goes on the bottom of the heel stack. And that was only about a $10 repair, which I am not going to charge anything for. All right, now this is almost completely finished here with the applying the glue. Then I'm going to leave this sit for, I usually do like 5 or 10 minutes, just enough for it to get tacky to the touch, but not fully dry, just tacky. And this foam, it does seem to absorb the cement a little bit, so I put a little bit of a heavier coat on the foam than I did the boot here. Just getting some air to it, to the glue. Do my best here to get it where it needs to go. Now, just gonna apply some here. Just going slowly, take my time, being careful not to cut into the midsole as well as myself. It's kind of amazing because this is even, this process is going even better than the other pair I did this, the left boot. So even just moving from one shoe on the one side to the shoe on the other side, other foot, is even smaller somewhere in there. I'll get better at.
before you go and do something like trace this on here to get this cut down to size, you have to account for the additional surface area that you now have with the additional material. So what I'm going to do instead is see if I can get a trace of the actual boot onto the new outsole. So with the outsole here, might be able to see I took a Sharpie and I traced out the shape of the boot onto the outsole. And this is how I have been doing this. Is there an easier way? Absolutely. Easier way would be to just glue this directly on there and then take it to the machine, which is then cranked and it cuts all this off, which is a machine that I don't have. So this is the next best thing that I have found so far. And what I'm going to do is just take my razor blade and cut along the lines that I have traced. All right, so those are all glued, and it's the same process as before where I'm going to let them sit until they get tacky to the touch, and then press and hammer them together. All right, now this is tacky to the touch on both surfaces.
So I'm going to lay on the outsole. I never know exactly really the best way to do this, as in where to start, what side to do, and that looks pretty good. About as good as I'm going to get it. So, same process as just going to hammer that on there for good measure.